So the title of the video is correct. Allegra is for sale. If you're a long-term subscriber, I just ask that you just bear with us for a little bit. If you're new to the channel and you've just come to see Allegra, there are tons and tons of videos that we've got on our channel of all the upgrades and the work that we've done to Allegra. In terms of price, Allegra's price will be in the description of the video. So let's have a look at this wonderful boat. Allegra is a 2004 Bavaria 36. She's the 2-cabin version and she's currently afloat in Deganwy Marina, North Wales. She's 11.4 metres in length, she has a beam of 3.6 metres and she has the optional deep lead keel which is 1.95 metres, and she's a Category A vessel. There's more information in the description and on our website. Let's take a tour starting in the cockpit. Okay, so looking at the back at the cockpit area, we've got 2 lockers, one here and one here. This is the locker that we tend to use for all our little bits and bobs. So service items, my tools, the hose, buckets. We tend to put our lines in here as well as a selection of lines there. And then obviously all the dock lines that are currently on the boat will go in there. Things that we often end up using. So anything else that we don't use kind of all the time goes in this larger locker, and this locker goes basically from here right to the very back. Now that's quite full at the moment because it's got a dinghy and some sails in, so I'll just quickly show you in there, but both sails are in here at the moment. So as you can see, there's the holding tank. There's an e-propulsion engine stood up there. That isn't for sale with the boat, but you can see the amount of locker space that we have in here. We've got our chairs, the dinghy. As I say, there's a sail down there. We store the oars, other bits and bobs at the back there that, again, we don't always have to get to very quickly, but there's a lot of space. You can stand up in this locker. It's absolutely huge. I'll show you that later. Here we've got our primary winches, both sides. They are Harken 40s. Behind them there's a second set of Harken 40s, which most boats don't have, so they were an option. And that just means that you can bring the sail line further back if you're sat at the back sailing it on your own, or if you're operating 2 different sails. So you've got an additional set of winches on the back. So if we just move around here, on this corner here we've got a throw line, we've got the navigation light and the TV aerial. On this side we've got a horseshoe buoy, got a brand new light that's just been replaced. That's good till I think it's 2030. And we have this Seago rescue system, which is basically a long line and a buoy at the end. So you throw that in and then you circle back around to get somebody. They're really useful. Okay, if you have a quick look over here, this is where we've got a Raymarine Axiom. It's a 9. We've got an I-70 display and we've got the autopilot. Got the compass, got the engine controls, and then this is part of the autopilot system. So that's the actual steerage bit of the autopilot system. On this side, we've got the fuel gauge. So when the engine is running, you can see how much fuel you've got. And we've got the second mic station for the Raymarine radio. So again, you can control the full radio from here, and it just means that you can both listen and transmit from this point. You don't have to go or be inside the boat to do that. Just in front of that we've got a bag here that we put our winch handles in when we're out and about sailing, and the wheel was also recovered in new leather quite recently. It's a Lumar folding wheel, so you can undo all of this and you can fold the wheel in to give you a little bit more space in the cockpit, like that. Just helps you get past, and then when you're out sailing you lock it into this position, and as I say, the wheel is really nice to hold with the leather on, and that's all just been recently renewed. You can see all the stitching on it there. Down at the bottom here is the Volvo control panel. To start the engine, you turn on the power, you press the glow button, so you lift this up for glow, and then you start the engine with the button. You can just keep an eye on everything from there. There is obviously more information that comes up on the Raymarine display, but that's the standard control panel that you have. Here is the autopilot lock mechanism, so you flick that across like that when you want to engage the autopilot, and then you flick it back when you're not when you don't require it. This part just holds the steering wheel, so if you want a little bit more friction you can put a little more friction on, or you can lock it off completely and it holds the wheel straight. So with the seat removed, you can see that it's easy to get on the boat. There's a nice walkway through. This is your gas locker. So in here, this is where we put the gas bottle. All the pipework for that's been recently replaced, and the regulator sits in a plastic tray so it doesn't rust. Here is the bilge pump, so the manual bilge pump, all in full working order. This is a vent for the engine. This is a connection for the solar panel if you need to put the solar panel through that way, or you can connect it using the top connector. This allows you access to the emergency top of the rudder, so if you need to the steering ever failed and you needed to steer the boat with the emergency tiller, that goes in there. At the back here you've got a swim platform, so just lift that up, drop your ladder over, and you can get in and out of the water dead easy. This drops back down when that's in place, so you can stand and get in and out. And then we put these additional wheels on so that you can put the dinghy on the back of the boat. This is to depower the main, so if you ever need to depower the main, you pull on this a little bit and it puts a little bit of twist in the back of the mast, and that helps to depower the main slightly. Again, all replaced, all now with Dyneema, including right down here. There used to be shackles and metal here, it was all replaced with Dyneema. You can see on that side, and these that are just tucked here, these are the lines that go across the back when you're sailing to make sure that you've got something protective at the back, extra lifelines. So we go just down the side of the boat. You'll notice that the front sail isn't on at the moment, so that's why there's no ropes in here. These are all adjustable from the cockpit, so you can pull the line forward and back. And there's a pro furler up at the front, an oversized Lumar anchor, 60 meters of chain, a new swivel that was put on that. The anchor windlass and the anchor windlass base have all been rebuilt, so that's all ready to go. We need to clean this area. We've not actually cleaned that area just at the moment. The running rigging was all replaced as well, so you've got nice running rigging. You've got a brand new mainsail that was put on in 2024. I'll show you some pictures of that. That's in fantastic condition. It's fully battened, and it had the additional cars to go up and down the mast to make it easier to deploy rather than the very small little plastic ones. We had the wheels put on it, and you can drop that while you're sailing. It's really good. At the moment we've just got a large solar panel strapped to the top here. That can be taken off if you don't want that. It isn't screwed down, fixed down in any way. It's just attached with some cable ties to the rails, but it does put in a lot of power. The cables for that are just tucked underneath, so you just thread them through the spray hood here into the solar controller, and you can charge your batteries while you're anchor. It really does make a massive difference. There's a boat hook just tucked under there as well. The spray hood obviously was replaced a couple of years ago. And so is the stack pack and the front sail cover. All the lights on board are LED, including the navigation lights. Everything was switched over, so again it's really efficient and really low energy to power the boat and light the boat. Right at the very top of the mast there we have a brand new VHF antenna and Windex. We have a new VHF cable right down the mast, and inside that was all replaced. And as you can see, a hull and a superstructure is in really good shape. We had some little cosmetic bits done this last year as well on the hull. There was a little bit of a mark on the front, that's all gone, all been replaced and cleaned up and redone. The hull is amazing. You got to remember it's a 2004 boat, but her hull is in fantastic condition. She was all polished as well. Standing rigging has been replaced. I've got some spares of these as well, because you can see the little tiny mark there. So I had a chat with the people at Blue Wave, and they sent me some replacement ones. So you've got replacement ones of these if you want to change them. If you don't, they're absolutely fine. But you've got a second spare set of all of them. All the fixings were taken out, they were tested, re-put back in, and all washers were put in between all the standing rigging. All her windows are in really good shape. This is the outlet for the diesel heater. So you've got a 3.5 kilowatt diesel heater on board, and outlets in all the cabins. around at the back here, you've got a new shower. So the shower fittings just in there. There's the shower. So when you get out of the water, you can shower off. This is the line for the Pro Furl down the side here. Down the front. Again, standing rigging. Right down to the front here. So this is an open drum design rather than the Selden closed drum. And we've had no problems with that. It's absolutely perfect. It's really, as you can see, it's dead easy to use. It's not got the sail on at the moment, but it's really easy to put the sail on and it's really easy to operate. Up in the anchor locker here, just excuse this bit, it hasn't been cleaned yet. Up in the anchor locker, you've got a new Mantis swivel on there. The chain is about 2 years old, it's not rusty. We went for the high zinc, I think it's solid zinc chain. Again, there'll be details of that, but yeah, the windlass has all been rebuilt. This is the lever that you put in here to manually operate it. You can winch in a rope rode as well as the chain. This is the remote control. You plug the remote control in here and you can operate the windlass. This is your anchoring ball to put up when you're anchored, so that you're anchored, and this is your anchor snubber. So once you've deployed your chain, put the anchor snubber on, and then tie that off to one of the cleats at the front here, and then you're all good. This is the secondary water tank. So the boat has two 150 litre water tanks. This is the front one, so that tank is up forward, and the other one is towards the rear. We also have 150 litres of fuel as well. Go back down this side of the boat. This red line here is for the spinnaker. That is normally on that eye at the front, just up there. And you can see all the sockets and things that go through the deck there. And the gas rod kicker in here was also replaced, so the boom actually stays up by itself now. It doesn't drop when you drop the top in lift. So if you haven't got the rope on the very back of the sail on, this rod kicker will hold the boom up. Again, you don't need to come up to the mast to do anything. You can do this all from the cockpit. All lines are led back to the cockpit winches. So there's nothing you need to do. You've got a hatch over the front bedroom. These two are also in the front bedroom area, so if you can't open that front one, you can open these two here. As you can see, this one's slightly open. This one's open over the living area. There's also a vent here that's open all the time. That can be closed from the inside, but that allows, even if you can't open the hatches, you can still get a bit of fresh air through. You've got the traveller that's on the top here, so you can adjust your sail with the traveller, bring the how that's pulling the boom down either slightly left or slightly right. So as you come back to the spray hood, you've got a handle here, and then you're in the cockpit. So nice, loads of places to hang on to. And here you've got a couple of Harken 16s, and all of your control lines are led back to here. So you've got all of your clutches on that side and the same this side. For your front sail, your outhaul, your main sheet, topping lift, kicker, the whole lot, it's all here. And you can use these two winches at the side here to winch your sails up and control your sails from here. You've got good visibility looking through the spray hood, looking forward, and a nice bit of protection for when you are in this area, because you can tuck yourself under here, but you can still see out. So spent a fair bit of time here, to be honest. Then this is all, it needs a bit of a clean. It's a little bit dusty. All your companionway, so again, you can't really see in, but it does let a lot of light in, which is really nice. So you've got a bit of privacy, but you've also got some natural light coming in. So coming down the companionway steps, this is the main saloon area on Allegra, and it's a really nice space. We'll go forward in a second and have a look at that cabin in there. And then we've obviously got another cabin at the back here, which we'll go and have a look at in just a second. So let's start in the galley area. So this is the galley on this side. We've got a gimbaled 2-burner gas stove. So if you lift this part up, and you can clip it back into there. I won't just do that for now, I'll just place that up like that. You can see there's the 2-burner gas stove, and you've got pan holders on the top so that nothing falls off. Again, it's in excellent condition. It's all been recently serviced, and you've got an oven underneath as well. If I bring this back over, in terms of power, you've got a power socket here, and you've got a mains power socket here. You've got some storage down in here, These are sort of your knives and your forks, things like that. Bit of pan storage in the bottom, that's quite a deep lock and it goes quite far back. And then on this side, you've also got further storage here for more pans, kettles, everything else that you need. Just where that power socket is along the back, that's where we put all our utensils and a few other bits and bobs. Again, quite deep, doesn't fall about, plenty of places to put things. In here, we tend to have tea and coffee and cups. Got your gas supply that you can turn on and off in there. And then you've just got more and more lockers. As you can see, we put like matting in these to protect them. But basically, you can use all of this space around the saloon area for storage. In this corner here, you've got a fridge. It's got a couple of different modes. If you come around this side, the little control panel for it is here. So you can run it as a normal fridge, or you can put it into auto mode. And in auto mode, it'll freeze the plate when there's excess energy. That plate at the back there will freeze, and then it will release that energy back in when you're at anchor, so it tries to reduce your power consumption. Under here, you've got 2 sinks, got a little draining board in there, but you can see the sinks there. And on the supply to the cold tap here, there is a water tube filter, so it filters the cold water and makes it sort of taste really nice. So just on this side here, you've got another storage area where you've got the bin, you've got spaces for things like your bags, you've got another fire blanket, there's a fire blanket there, there's also a fire extinguisher under this seat behind me. And in the bottom there, that's where we tend to keep emergency bungs in there, cleaning stuff, pegs, things like that. Under the floor, as you can see, the floor again is in excellent condition. Under the floor there's more storage. We put cans, drinks, tins, things like that under there. You can lift these middle ones up and the storage goes left and right here. If we move forwards a little bit, you've got seating area on both sides. You can fit 3 people on each side, so about 6 people in total in this area. I'll show you in a second through the magic of video editing about how these turn into beds. This one has got lee cloths on it. You've got space at the back for more storage of cups and plates and snacks and everything else. Up front here we've got a TV which is 12 volt powered. It's got a powered antenna on it. It's got a DVD player, if you can remember what those are. And it's also got a fire stick in it, so if you want to watch and stream things, you can stream it from there. We've got a barometer and a clock. Forward into the other cabin. And then this side basically is a replica. So more storage in all these cupboards, like in this one for example. There's spaces to hold your glasses in place. And then you've just got more and more and more storage. You've got storage under the bunk. The batteries are under this one, but you've got further storage and spares under there. And on that side, the fridge compressors on that end, but all that front bit there is also storage. The table itself is in really nice shape. It's always been covered. We've always covered it. Previous owners covered it. This side lifts up. And then you've got a couple of bits that you flick out to support that. And then there's even more storage in the middle of the table. You've got 2 opening windows this side, 2 opening windows this side, and an opening hatch in the middle there. On this side, you've got more storage in here for wine bottles and other drinks that you don't want to spill. You've got another cupboard under here. There's further storage under this seat, which we keep like the winch handles and other things for sailing. 2 lockers here, which this one we tend to keep like the light, the big torch, binoculars, things that we need. This one's more like an electrical cupboard. You've got a place for charts. You've got storage underneath for even more charts and sailing books and almanacs and everything. They will actually fit proper size charts, and it is a real chart table. Here you've got the Raspberry Pi system. This will display charts, weather information, battery information, environment, the whole lot on that. There's loads of videos on that. We'd go through that separately. You've got another little instrument display down there that you can have things like depth on. This is touchscreen. Go through the depth, the wind, batteries. So if you haven't got this one on, you can have the little one on. This controls the top monitor screen. This is to turn the AIS on and off, so it can run in silent mode. Your main radio's here. 12 volt switch panel is here. Water tank information, battery information, stereo, and the 240 panel. So here we've got the hot water, here we've got the battery charger, and we've got another main socket. Just below that we've got our diesel heater, so you simply turn that on and the diesel heater will fire up. You can also run it in fan mode if you want to blow some fresh air through the boat. And just under there is a way to turn the batteries on and off. That chunk of cable there is for the solar panel. Back here you've got some charging, you've got USB-C and USB-A, and this is the keyboard for the Raspberry Pi. If we turn back this way, you can see into the heads. So the heads has got a standard twist and lock Jabsco marine toilet. At the moment the seat is down for the shower pulls out of the sink here. You've got a large sink area, hot and cold pressurised water, storage at the back, storage in them additional containers. This is a small pull-out cord to dry your washing on. Clips into the other side. You've got another opening window. This is the wet locker, so you can put your life jackets in there or anything that's wet and it drains out. Behind the door, and I'll spin right round, we've got a mirror, and on the back of this door we've also got a coat hook. Got a light up here. As you can see, you've got lights all through the boat. In this area you can turn them on, they're all LED, but there's also low level lighting under all of these lockers here that shines upwards. So I've got a video with that in. That's controlled from this system, and there's red on this side. So this light will go white and red, but there's also a red band which we actually now use, which is under that locker there, so we can flip that from white to red at night. This system is completely separate. You don't have to, if this is not for you, you don't have to use this. The only thing that this actually controls is the LED lighting. Everything else on this boat is just standard Enemy A2000, standard electronics. It's just that this provides you with a lot of additional information, but if it's not your cup of tea, you don't have to use it. Under here there is a Wi-Fi router. That's the Wi-Fi antenna. The signal's really poor here, so we've got an external antenna on that, but if you're anywhere where it had decent coverage, then it would be absolutely fine. And we've used that for quite a bit now and it's really good. So it provides 4G to the boat. Take a look this way. This is looking at the engine from the front. So you've got loads of really good access. That panel there comes out as you saw from the other way. This bottom step comes out, so you can take this bottom step out and get to the front of the engine. So if you need to change, you can actually change the water pump there. It's not difficult, but if you do need to get to the front of the engine for any reason, 6 screws in this panel comes out and you can get right to the front. And if you needed to move the engine, you'd do it that way as well. So at the back here, you've got a water strainer. That's a thing that you would check quite regularly. You check your oil regularly here and at the back, and you check your coolant level. If all that's okay, off you go. If you need to do anything further, then you've got the access, you've got light in there, and it's really easy to work on, to be honest. Everything is very, very accessible. Again, we can have a full handover with all of that. If there's any questions that come up from it, then ask away. So as we head forward, this is the front cabin. We've got 3 opening hatches. We've got this large front one here and 2 just above the area you can see in front of us. We've got a wardrobe on this side. There is lots of storage along the side of the cabin, which you can see there. And then there's another wardrobe behind this door here. So you've got shelves one side, and you've got a hanging locker in there. This one is exactly the same. So you've got hanging space on one side and then a set of shelves on this side. You've got a little seating area here where you can get dressed. Underneath that there's additional storage. On the back wall there is a coat hook, so you can hang your coats up here. You've got blinds on each of the windows. These all open, so you can kind of have them fully open and they'll stay where you put them, or you can lock them down on the catch, and then if it's raining you can still get some ventilation in here. We don't tend to open the front one when it's raining, but these you can. You've got a couple of lights, so all the lighting throughout the boat is LED lighting, and then you've got the main sort of bed in the middle here, the main bunk. It's a really long bunk, it's over 6 foot and it's really wide where you sort of sleep. Underneath all of the bedding there is dry mat. That keeps the condensation at bay. And then underneath there, you've got additional storage. So the front water tank is under here, but that's right at the very front. But as you can see, there is still loads of space. That's 2 sails. There's 2 sails in there. There's absolutely tons of space in here. It's a massive space that you can put sails, other items, bag things up and store it in there if you're not going to access it very often. And then they just drop down, click back into place, drop the dry mat in, and put your bunks back together. Underneath the floor here, so we've lifted up the carpet. This provides access to the depth sounder and the log, and as you can see, the little bung, if you either need to clean it or you have an emergency and you need to put the bung's right next door to it. So that's just in that one, and there's just space under this side. So if we head to the second cabin, which is on this side at the rear of the boat, again, got a lovely long berth, very wide, plenty of space in there. We've got lighting here. There's a light here, a little reading light that's got USB charging on, and that's dimmable, so you can dim that down. As I say, really long, plenty of space in there. We've got a cabinet behind me. I'll just shut the door. So the cabinet, if I spin round, here we've got a wardrobe with hanging space, and similar to the front, we've got shelves on this side. This little thing here is just telling you that the compass is in there for the Rain Marine, so we have plastic coat hangers in there just in case. On the back of the door, we've got a coat hook, so you can hang your coat up. And this bit here is for the engine access. So this panel comes out, which we'll show you in a sec, and you can get to the engine access. These wooden pieces here on the side of the door are where the washboards go. So the plastic or Perspex washboards at the top, that's where they go. So you can store them, and they store, even with a coat on there, you can kind of store them there. They're out of the way, and they're not banging around. There's another light up there. There's an opening window on the outside. There's an opening window into the cockpit. All have curtains, so again, you can make this sort of nice and dark if that's what you like. We've got a fire blanket here just in case you ever needed that to get through that door. Under the berth, again, we've got the dry mat, and this side here gets you access to the back of the engine and the water locker and things like that, which again we can show you in a second. And under this one, if I just lift this one up, under here, there's the other water tank. And down here is where you flick between your 2 water tanks. So you can change over to water tank 1 and water tank 2 under there. Right at the very back, there's also access into the stern area of the boat. Back there is the exhaust, the heater, a few other parts, because obviously the other side of this wall here is that very large locker, so you can see how long that locker is from this view. It's absolutely huge. So the 3 cabin boats don't have that. They have a very small sort of well locker that's in the ceiling, where these boats have the much deeper cruising locker, so you can get all your stuff in. There's tons and tons of space. There's tons of space under this bunk as well. You can put even more under that. Notice like little access hatches there for getting to the back of the winches, things like that. So everything is very accessible. If I take this off, so with this off, if I just undo this for you, you can see into the engine. And with the front lifted, there's loads and loads of light. There is a light in there, but there's loads of light, loads of access around the engine to do any of the jobs that you need to do. And all of the engine bay is all lined with insulation, so it makes it really quiet when it's underway.